Welcome to this edition of the Houston Roundball Review presents Talk Your Team, Throwback Thursday on the lunch break. I am KG Chris Gardner, owner of the Houston Roundball Review. Big shout out to my man AJ Jones for giving me this platform with you on Thursdays from noon to 1, 12:55 roughly. If you have a Roku streaming device, just download Bs3 TV. If not, just go to bs3network.com or Bs3TVlive.com. And big shout out to Ben and the Bs3 family who are probably, as we speak, at Radio Row for the big game, the NFL's big game. Y'all know what it's called, but I can't afford to pay any copyright infringements. But the NFL's big game, the Bs3 Network is in the house, in the building at Radio Row. Check out all of the content they provide. A lot of good stuff. Been really impressed with everything they've done. They're part of Radio Row, so salute. See, I'm part of something that's huge. Huge. The Bs3 Network does hockey, sports, football, basketball, everything, baseball. But this week, they are part of Radio Row for the NFL's big game. Been there since, I think, Monday. So outstanding. Miss Donna, how are you doing? Welcome. Thank you for chiming in. Long time no see, Miss Donna. How are you? Glad to hear from you. But on this edition of the Roundball Review Takeover, I got to say this. Y'all know it. Y'all follow me, follow my platforms, follow the Houston Roundball Review. Know I am a grandiose fan of the Detroit Pistons. Detroit basketball, in case you didn't know. Been a fan since 1986. Team stinks now. Has stunk for a while. But today, this morning, last couple of hours, as part of the wheeling and dealing to try to get out of this garbage the Pistons have put on the floor this year, they made one deal to acquire Danuel House from Philadelphia, from this area. House, well, I remember House playing at Hightower pickup games a long time ago. But also, the Pistons part of a deal to acquire Quentin Grimes from the Knicks for Alec Burks. And it's funny, ironic that happened because on an edition of the Let's Talk Houston Rockets live stream show a few weeks ago, I tossed out the possibility of Quentin Grimes going from the Knicks to the Pistons for Alec Burks. So today is the deadline, the NBA trade deadline, 2 o'clock Central. So less than 2 hours now officially before the deadline. Quentin Grimes and Marcus Sasser will be teammates, barring some unforeseen deal where Troy Weaver blinks and trades Marcus Sasser, which he shouldn't. But Marcus Sasser and Quentin Grimes are teammates once again. Y'all know they were part of the team that helped the Cougs get the Final Four. Marcus Sasser told colleagues in Detroit already that best team he played on in Houston included Quentin Grimes. So we shall see if any of that happens, any of that hard work, Cougar culture, defense, which the Detroit Pistons truly have lacked all season long, will carry over and help the team defensively. They won game number 7, Wednesday night, game number 7. Here it is, February. Detroit finally got win number 7, but it was an impressive win. They won in Sacramento and scored 133 on the Kings and had King fans booing and questioning, what are they doing in Sacramento? But yes, Miss Donna, that's not going to happen. I mean, I doubt the Cavs rolling. I think the Cavs have won 14 of 15 or 15 of 16. Donovan Mitchell won't be traded today in the last 2 hours, but there is talk, scuttlebutt, that come sometime this summer that the Lakers have their eye on Donovan Mitchell. Lakers would have 3 first-round picks at their disposal this summer on draft night. Well, nights now because the draft will be 2 nights to make a deal like that. So they do have their eye on him, but I'm not saying it's going to happen now. As Brother Gibson said, no, that's not happening now. But there was some scuttlebutt about that yesterday on X or what have you. But I also want to remind people, Brother Gibson, how you doing? Thank you for chiming in on Facebook. Most of these deals that have happened this week and have happened today were not rumored, except for me and my tossing out Quentin Grimes to the Pistons weeks ago. We shall see, Brother Gibson. We shall see. But like I said, that's what the scuttlebutt was. But get to my point. Most of the deals, most of the rumors, trades that are tossed around in the social media universe don't happen. They don't happen. Think about it. All week long. Hear all kinds of things about player X going to the Rockets. Doesn't happen. The Hawks trying to do this with DeJounte Murray. Probably not happening. Well, not going to happen. How often did anyone who's a fan of the Rockets or any team in the NBA read about, hear about team going to get this player? Doesn't happen. But your team makes a trade. Wow, I heard nothing about that. Huh. I didn't even know that was being discussed. Huh. Because most of those deals that do happen aren't discussed, aren't leaked to the public. The deals that are leaked and announced by the NBA writers, my colleagues, Brother Gibson can chime in with this. Most of them that are leaked and put out there are from the agents because they're trying to drum up interest in their clients. Those deals don't happen. Most of those do not happen. So keep that in mind when you get in these fan forums and you talk about, well, so-and-so said this was going to happen. So-and-so said, we're offering 2 first-round picks to blah, blah, blah. No. I'm old now. Roundball Review been around 30 years this year. I used to think that way. I used to put a lot of substance in these rumors. Older I've gotten, more contacts, more things I've learned. Don't happen. I have no problem with my colleagues getting that money because it's part of their job to report on what they've heard, what they're hearing. All week long, Brother Gibson, this is what I'm hearing. This is what the intel is telling me. This is what I've heard so far this week. It's part of getting the fans excited. It's part of the NBA drumbeat. You hear this? We might get this guy. We might get so-and-so. The Rockets are trying to get Mikal Bridges. They're trying to do this. Mm-hmm. Y'all all excited. Come 3 o'clock, an hour after deadline. Man, I thought we were going to get so-and-so. I thought, man, what happened, man? They told us we were going to. Mm-hmm. Doesn't happen. The majority of trades that have happened this week, have happened today, may happen in these next hour and 50 minutes, are not leaked. The NBA front offices, and now I will say this, there are been on occasion front offices who leak to agents. You know, we might try to deal so-and-so, try to deal your client, give him a better opportunity, more playing time. See if you can put out there some interest, feign some interest that we may have moving so-and-so or moving or acquiring someone. That does happen on occasion, not often. But I go back to it. I'm a broken record. Most of the trades that are completed, become official and announced, are not leaked. They never are leaked. Hello, stranger. Long time no hear from. Good to hear you. Good to see you. I don't know who said anything about Quentin Grimes to Houston. Wasn't me. But it goes back to one of my points. If you saw that somewhere, if you saw it leaked somewhere, Most likely it was from the agent, the agency, representation. It wasn't happening. There was scuttlebutt late last night about Alec Burks from Detroit going to the Knicks. Late last night, within 24 hours, within 12 hours of today's deadline. Because it wasn't discussed. It wasn't public. I said weeks ago, Willie Gibson, you know it. Miss Donna, you probably know it as well. You're a sports fan. Tran, you know it as well. What writers do now. These are trades that I'd like to see for each team. Trade ideas, trade proposals for each NBA team. That's a thing now. So I said weeks ago, what deal I would like to see is I'd like to see Quentin Grimes traded from the Knicks to Detroit for Alec Burks. Hour ago, the Knicks and Pistons worked on a deal involving Quentin Grimes to Detroit for Alec Burks and Bojan Donovan, Evan Fournier, etc. I'll add this. During his just completed press conference with us from 11:15 to noon, right before the show, Coach Kelvin Sampson mentioned, he can say this now, and salute to my colleagues for turning part of today's press conference into a Detroit media session involving the Cougars. I had nothing to do with that. I didn't bring it up. I asked Coach about Cincinnati. But Coach Sampson was asked about his thoughts on Quentin Grimes reuniting with Marcus Sasser in Detroit. Coach Sampson mentioned that he had heard from Detroit GM, their front office, Troy Weaver, this week for some intel, some info, background, just due diligence on Quentin Grimes. This week, Coach Sampson mentioned that today during his press conference that he had been Detroit had been in contact with him this week. You didn't hear that from Woj or Shams or Sam Amick or anybody else national about Troy Weaver talking to Kelvin Sampson, getting intel. So you mean that wasn't from an agent? That wasn't from a rep? That GM was talking to a college coach about a player that he used to coach? Well, doggone it. I'm shocked. I'm not being bitter at all. I'm just trying to get the audience some insight in how things really do work. There was rumors about players for weeks. Majority of that stuff won't happen today. Let's talk about it. We got some more time here on this edition of the Takeover, powered by JM&E. Streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, of course, via the Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel, Twitch, Musk, but also Roku via the Bs3 network for a while now. At least, I won't even put a timetable on it. Jalen Green, rumors to Brooklyn. Rocket fans are all hyped. We're hyped. Oh, yeah, gotta do this. Yep, gonna do it. Make it happen. Last few days, word came out. Brooklyn said, no, we're not trading Mr. Bridges. Not doing it. Nope, not doing it. Don't care. Nope, not gonna do it. What are your thoughts on that? What are your thoughts on, it has come out these last few days from colleagues, local colleagues, beat writers, that the Rockets seriously entertained the idea of trading Jalen Green to Brooklyn. The Nets have said no so far in these. We'll see, we got about 105 minutes to go before the 2 p.m. Central NBA trade deadline for this season. How many of y'all who watching the show, y'all want to get rid of the Rockets to trade Jalen Green? for Mikal Bridges or anybody. Has his improved performance on the court lately turned you off from trading him now? Or do you still want the Rockets to make a big deal by the deadline? Or are you okay with the Rockets' investment in the deal for Steven Adams for next season as a backup for Alperen Sengun? There are still discussions about Rockets entertaining ideas to trade Jae'Sean Tate by today's deadline. Are you okay with that? Your thoughts on Ms. Donna wants Jalen Green to be more consistent. I think a lot of fans want that and expect it from him because that's what star players do. They're consistently good, game in, game out. They impact winning. They don't just get numbers and lose, but they help their team win game in, game out. Consistency. Excellent point. So if Jalen Green is not traded today, I'm checking my phone for any more deals that are happening left and right. Looks like Charlotte is trading, doing a deal with Dallas, trading PJ Washington to Dallas for Grant Williams, Seth Curry, and a first-round pick. That wasn't part of that was kind of discussed. The Grant Williams part of it was being discussed, but it wasn't really for him. Royce O'Neal name had been tossed about. Royce O'Neal to Phoenix for salaries. See, Brooklyn was willing, agreeable to make a deal in trading Royce O'Neal. They were not going to trade Mikal Bridges, and they aren't. Rockets have tried. So I've hoped. So I've been told. So I've heard. But are y'all good with Jalen Green being a Rocket for the rest of this season? What if I say to you, Jalen Green may not be a Rocket next season? Mr. Tran, Miss Donna? What if I say to you, he'll finish out this season, but he might not be a Rocket next season? Hinting at a deal may happen this offseason involving Mr. Green. Just putting it out there on this edition of the Houston Roundball Review TAKEOVER, powered by JM&E, streaming live on Roku via the Bs3 network. And again, shout out to the crew for being on Radio Row right now, this week, right now, for the NFL's big game. Check out the content. Follow them, Bs3, on TikTok and Facebook, Threads, Musk, but Roku as well. We don't have the Bs3 network. Download it from Roku. Go to the website, bs3network.com or bs3tvlive.com. But yes, I'm part of a platform that is at the big game, Radio Row. But adding to it, Mr. A.D. Moore, representing the Houston Roundball Review Media Group, is on his way to Vegas for the big game himself. So he'll be covering that and have content on his platform and also on the Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel as part of the Ad Max Korner show. So look for that. We're trying to do our part. I'm trying to keep hitting that rock, spreading content, sharing insight, my experiences over these 30 years. But yep, got me in my, I had Brother Gibson, a person reached out to me, show me a picture of his Houston Roundball Review mug that he purchased, said he was enjoying his favorite beverage in it. Salute. So if you're watching on my channel, on the YouTube channel, click on that shop button, buy you some Roundball Review merch, like a mug, like a Roundball Review shirt, like this I'm wearing, different colors available. So, different ways to support the Roundball Review. Thrillo, TSU alum, talk about it. Chris Dishman, TSU football head coach now, after that long, drawn out mess that they took too long over at Texas Southern, but now I have Chris Dishman in charge of the football program. We can talk about that here on this edition of The Takeover, powered by JM&E. But yes, more. Thurlow, what are your thoughts? And a reminder, Tran, as you as well, because I miss you on the Rocket shows. We're going to have a Rockets live stream show this evening, tonight, 9 p.m. Central. We'll wrap up today's trade, see if Rockets make any deals today. So join me on the Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel tonight, 9 o'clock, on the next edition of Let's Talk Houston Rockets. And I'm happy to say, relieved to say, presented by Byron Raleigh, CPA. He's come through again to renew his sponsorship. Still trying to get a sponsor and advertising on this show, on the Takeover, from noon to 1. So if you really want to help me keep hitting that rock, reach out to me. Email me, kgardner@thehrr.com. So once again, kgardner@thehrr.com for advertising info about having your logo in the upper right corner to replace advertise here. That could be your spot. Email me, kgardner@thehrr.com, reaching thousands of people combined on the social media platforms of Fire TV, Twitch, Roku, Facebook, YouTube, and Musk, etc. Man, my phone's lighting up all over the place, all these trades. But yeah, so far nothing involving the Rockets. But again, your thoughts. Should the Rockets Thrillo? You're a contributor to the Let's Talk Houston Rockets show. Your thoughts on Jalen Green for Mikal Bridges. Should it be done today? I don't think it's going to happen. Or your thoughts on the Rockets trading Jalen Green this summer? For everyone who's watching the show on all the platforms, your thoughts on head coach Ime Udoka's, how can I say it, urging, desire for the Rockets to make a deal to get better now, to make a push for the play-in / outside hope of getting that 6th seed. I mean, where are they now? 4 games under 500 in the 11th or 12th spot. So not in the 7 to 10 range for the play-in. But should the Rockets try? Do you want the Rockets to make a deal? I know one of my regulars on the Rocket show, he's adamant. He wants Rafael Stone to make a deal. Adamant. Do something, Rafael. Make a deal. Yes, Rockets should be in the playoffs this year. So did the Rockets reject a trade for Tate? No. Waiting for an offer to their liking to agree to trade Jayshawn Tate. That's how I'm going to phrase it. 3 picks, looking for 3 picks. Offer was 2, something like that. Trent says he's disappointed in the Rockets. Why? Why are you saying that? Lately or all season, they've kind of exceeded expectations this season. I'm not the biggest Greens fan. He's all for a good trade, but I will say he hasn't been balling lately. He has been playing much better. The injury to Tari Eason has clearly hurt the Rockets' defensive production, defensive flexibility. And that injury still has not been specified what it is. It hasn't been gone. They have not told us if it's beyond stress reaction to a stress fracture. But Tari sure has been out a long time. He's getting closer. I mean, really, and there's no point, honestly, for him playing. Let's see, Rockets have a game Friday, Saturday, and then Monday, and then Wednesday before the All-Star break. I mean, give his leg, that bone to heal more. I mean, clearly, if he's good to go and cleared medically, maybe playing one of these 4 games before the break. But if not, what's the rush? So we'll see. But yeah, Tari Eason's been out a long time. Dylan Brooks. He used to be Thrillo, I think, the Rockets' best three-point shooter, but Cam Whitmore is not getting more minutes and putting up buckets from three. Not an efficient passer yet. Some would say, and I might be in that camp. Maybe not even a willing passer. Enough right now as a rookie. I think he'll get better at passing and maximize more of his skill set. But you're seeing Ime Thompson getting more shine, especially now with Fred VanVleet dealing with an adductor injury. He may play Monday or Wednesday, but again, Rockets got these 4 games before the break. Give Fred the whole time to rest and recover. What's the point? Make a final push, make a play-in push after the break. But and come on now, you got jokes. Why would Detroit want Jalen Green? No, they had a chance to draft him and didn't. so no, they're not doing that. Marcus Sasser. Not saying he has a home because anybody can be traded. But Marcus Sasser played 32 minutes last night. Season high, or maybe tying it for most minutes. 0 turnovers. So that's a positive for Marcus Sasser. In Detroit, maybe it took too long for Monty Williams to realize and open his eyes what he has and how to maximize his skill set. Like Jaden Ivey can play with Quentin Grimes, with Kate Cunningham. And they can share the ball duties and not just have Ivy standing in the corner tying his shoes. But whatever. Monty Williams took him too long, but maybe the light finally came on. So hopefully the light stays on for him and realize what Detroit has and how to maximize what they do have rather than what they don't have. Thrillo says low-key, the Rockets' success has kind of centered around Tari. When he has been hurt, they struggle. Well, when he's available, they win. Yeah, I mean, that's becoming more and more apparent. Go figure that. Go figure that. But what he provides, hustle, toughness, some scoring, rebounding. He's like a combination. He's not probably the explosive scorer Cam Whitmore is, but he's like Dylan Brooks and Cam combined. Because he can score, because he does hustle, because he can defend numerous positions, because he does impact winning. And without him, the Rockets are struggling. You see it. Fans of the team see it. Complain about it. Wonder what to do, how to fix it. All of these things. So we'll see. Toronto, Hawks, Knicks, next few games. Knicks are Monday. That was a chance. It's funny because with the Knicks coming here on Monday before the trade with Detroit, would have been one more chance to see Quentin Grimes visit the city of Houston. But that's not going to happen now because Detroit has already made their one visit from the Eastern Conference to H-Town. Rockets are at Memphis on Valentine's night to close out the first part of their NBA season. Knicks are here in town on Monday. Rockets at the Hawks Saturday and at the Raptors Friday, tomorrow. 4 games. Make your predictions of how many of those 4 will they win? 2, 3, 4, 1, none. What say you on this edition of the Houston Roundball Review TAKEOVER, powered by JM&E, streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, Musk, that's Twitter in case you don't know, Fire TV, but of course, Twitch and Roku via the Bs3 network. Killian Hayes, see, I didn't bring it up, Thrill. Killian Hayes started last night because Cade didn't play. Cade trying to do injury management for Cade coming off his leg injury. Was it a strained quad? It caused him to miss some time, so they don't want to rush him back. And Killian, bless his heart, he played well last night in the minutes he got. But fortunately, Monty Williams stuck with Marcus Sasser down the stretch to go with Jaden Ivey, Alec Burks, and Detroit won the game, surprising the Kings on the road. Final score 133. Detroit scored 133. The Kings scored 120. Bottom of the hour of this edition of the Houston Roundball Review Takeover. Y'all know what that means. Going to remind everyone, in case you're new to this show, new to this platform, new to the Bs3 Network and Bs3 TV. Going to take 90 seconds to show you what Bs3 is all about. Be back in 90 seconds. You're watching the Houston Roundball Review Takeover, powered by JM&E.
Bs3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.
Welcome back to the Houston Roundball Review Takeover, powered by JM&E. I am KG Chris Gardner, owner of the Houston Roundball Review. You're watching the Houston Roundball Review Takeover on the lunch break, powered by JM&E, streaming live on Roku via the Bs3 Network, Bs3 TV. If you don't have Bs3 TV, simply go to Roku, download it. If not, you can go to the website, Bs3network.com or Bs3tvlive.com. And I'm proud to say they are part of Radio Row this week for the NFL's big game. Coming up this Sunday, make your predictions on the matchup, Chiefs, Niners. I don't have a big interest in it. Real full disclosure, I do have a financial interest in it, but beyond that, whatever. But let's talk some Big 12 basketball in these next 20 minutes or so, as well as some H-Town area hoops. Going to kind of go backwards, just with a quick note here. Rice Owls women's basketball won on the road Wednesday night, beat South Florida 69-59 to improve to 7-4 in the American Athletic Conference, their first year in the AAC. One more time, Rice women 7-4 in their first year in the AAC, coming from Conference USA to the American, 7-4. Head coach Lindsay Edmonds picked up her 50th win as head coach at Rice in only 81 games. The fastest Rice Owls coach to reach 50 wins. They swept South Florida. South Florida was, I think, the pre-conference favorite, but injuries have pretty much ravaged their season. But still, Rice has swept South Florida. Rice has also swept SMU. SMU's last year in the American before heading to the probably at some point what's left of the ACC, the Atlantic Coast Conference. I was at Tudor Fieldhouse Wednesday night to watch Rice men play SMU. Rice lost 95-69 to fall to 3-7 in conference. They had won their last two games previous. One at Memphis, 74-71, and the last Saturday at UTSA, 80-76. Rice Owls guard Makai Mason was named Player of the Week for his performance last week. Scored a career high 30 plus in the Rice's win at UTSA last Saturday. However, Wednesday night, February 7th, I'm not even sure how to say all this. Rice men were leading SMU. Thrillo, Tran, Brother Gibson, if you're watching still on Facebook, anybody else watching on the platforms. I want to say it was 36-28, something like that, with 3:48 to go in the first half. Rice was ahead 35-26. I think 35-26. Yes, 35-26 with 3:48 to go in the first half. SMU outscored Rice the last 3:48, 14-1 to lead at halftime by 3. Then SMU outscored Rice 55-32 in the second half to win 95-69. Rice head coach Scott Pera owned it because he's the head coach, but he was frustrated, disappointed, bewildered at what happened the last 25 minutes of the ball game. I was there. I saw it. I could almost believe it, and I saw it. The Rice men, like I said, coming off 2 road wins at Memphis, at UTSA, leading with roughly 4 minutes left in the first half by 9, then down by 3 or 4 at halftime, and then get blown off their own floor 55-32 in the second half to lose by 26. SMU made 9 of the first 10 shots in the second half. They went on, they followed up the first half run, 14-1, with another 14-1 run. Second half, Rice clawed back to within 12 or 13. SMU said, oh, no. Not tonight. Went on another 14-0 run to put the game away. So go to my Instagram, TikTok, Houston Roundball Review, to hear part of Coach Pera's remarks and his thoughts on what happened the last few minutes of the first half and the second half. No one saw it coming. It was baffling how Rice's defense played so well for 16 minutes and then went to crap the rest of the game. The last 24 minutes, I'm not sure they could have stopped me from scoring. And they're now 3-7 in conference play. A bounce, got a chance to get back on the good foot, as James Brown used to say. This Saturday, February 10th, South Florida is in first place in the conference. 2 o'clock, the men, and then it's a double hitter inside Tudor Fieldhouse. The women host Tulsa at 5 o'clock. Both games on ESPN+. Well, I'm not sure which Rice Owls men's team is going to show up Saturday. Saw 2 different ones in the same game last night. The good one and then the awful one. But 2 o'clock this Saturday, Rice versus South Florida. And it's Thriller. It's funny. We're on the same wavelength, bro. I'm not sure it can be done in today's NCAA, but I know back in the day, if a team would have had a performance, especially a second half performance like I saw last night, coach would have made them run gassers after the game. Didn't happen last night. I saw players, going back to their dorms and stuff, and I thought to myself, y'all aren't going to practice? Y'all aren't going to do something right now? For what y'all just put out there on the floor? That's what I thought. Me and my colleague were like, why are they leaving? Why aren't they practicing? But that's what happened. TSU. Women, but the men, Tournament Johnny, head coach Johnny Jones, got his men's squad now 6-3 in the SWAC. Ladies 3-6. The men beat Prairie View at PV on the Hill last Saturday by 11. Game really wasn't that close, but still, they won by 11. But Texas Southern will be in Florida this weekend, this Saturday and Monday. First up, FAMU, Florida A&M. Women first, 1 o'clock, against Florida A&M, coached by first-year head coach Bridget Gordon, Basketball Hall of Famer, Lady Vol, NCAA champion. She's turning FAMU around, returning them to laying a solid foundation and establishing her culture, and they're winning, surprising folks in the SWAC. So I'm kind of curious to see how TSU does against Florida A&M in the game, women's game. And then TSU will be at Bethune-Cookman on Monday. Prairie View had the makeup game that was canceled because of bad weather and ice on the hill. Previous matchup against Pine Bluff on Monday. Men won by a point. They are starting to gel. TSU. So you also know they're going to Florida this weekend as well. The PV men, 9-13. Overall, 4-5 in the SWAC. PV women, 9-10 overall, 5-4 in the SWAC. At Bethune-Cookman on Saturday, ladies first, 1 o'clock. Fellas after that, roughly 30 minutes after the conclusion of the women's game. And then on Monday, FAMU, 4:30 for the women, 6:30, probably 7 for the men. All right, going to get into it. I don't know how much time I want to spend talking about HCU, but let's be fair. HCU women are 0-10 in Southland Conference play. Dealt with injuries, illness, bad luck. All adds up. They're 0-10 in conference play. The men are 3-7. They got a doubleheader here in town at Sharp Gym this Saturday against Incarnate Word. Incarnate Word, I think, beat both of these teams in the previous matchup on the road. But 1 o'clock women's game, Sharp Gym. See if Huskies can get their first win in conference play. It's going to be tough. And then HCU men, 3-7, see if they can get their fourth win in conference play. Okay. Trent. Terrell, you know it as well. Y'all seen me enough on these shows. I made a reference to Coach Edmonds at Rice, her success being the fastest Rice head coach to 50 wins. Took her 81 games. First year in a new conference. 7-4 in the American. Gonna have a contrast. Oop, wrong one. To head coach Ronald Huey at Houston. First year in the Big 12. He's not 7-4. In the Big 12, the Cougs are 3-8. Women's team, 12-10 overall. Their win over Cincinnati was as ugly as you think a 54-46 game would be. Sunday, this past Sunday, was alumni game. Had UH women's hoopers from previous teams, decades in the house to recognize them. No one from, no, that's not true. Never mind. Only going to what I was going to say. But they lost to Baylor at home, 83-60. You see the men Their loss at KU on Saturday, but they followed it up with a win over Oklahoma State by 16 on Tuesday. Houston Cougars women's team lost at home to Baylor by 23. Lost at home by 23, even though Baylor had 26 turnovers. It's hard. It's hard. Thrillo, Tran, Willie Gibson, Miss Donna Holman. It's hard to lose to a team by 23, and that team committed 26 turnovers. It's hard to do that. But that's what the Cougars women's team did Sunday afternoon. And you know what Baylor did Wednesday night on the road in Provo against BYU? They lost by 12. BYU, also a newcomer, first year in the Big 12. They lost 78-66 at BYU. BYU shot 52% from the floor. BYU committed 19 turnovers, but beat Baylor by 12. Take it for what it's worth. But I'm just saying, I'm putting it out there. Y'all know how I feel. Reminder, Tran, you know it if you're still watching. Well, you know it as well. Kelvin Sampson, 10 years, 10th season, coaching the men's team. Ronald Huey, 10th season, coaching the women's team. Facilities are the same, basically. Both have their own practice gyms. Both have the second floor access, bells and whistles, renovations, remodeling. 10th season for both head coaches. Thrillo, I think the Cougars against Baylor had 22 turnovers. Something like that. It wasn't 26. They shot like 30-something%, though. Oh, check this out. Baylor head coach Nikki Collin switched to a zone defense at halftime. So tossed out the zone to the Cougs second half. UH shot 11, if I remember right, 11 for 41 in the second half against Baylor Sunday afternoon. 11 for 41. Again, BYU Wednesday night shot 52% against Baylor and won by 12. But anyhow, you get where I'm going. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. This weekend, well, tonight, Houston Cougars women's team is on the road at Kansas. That's why you don't see either Houston or KU on the schedule for February 10th because they're off. They're both playing tonight, February 8th. Cougs at Kansas, game on ESPN Plus, 6:30 p.m. First game, women's hoops. Baylor at Cincinnati, 11 o'clock Central. Second one, West Virginia at Baylor. I'm kind of curious to see which Baylor team is going to show up because it's ironic. Brother Gibson asked this question of Yaya Felder. She scored in double figures. Baylor had like 6 players score in double figures Sunday against Houston. Yaya shot the ball well against Houston. She did not shoot well against BYU. She scored in double figures against BYU, but not efficient. It's almost like if she's shooting well, Baylor goes as she goes. Sunday, she played well, shot well, they won. Wednesday night, she didn't shoot well, they lost. Not saying it's all on her shoulders, but kind of a barometer. So I'm not sure which Baylor team is going to show up Saturday. All 5 of their losses are in Big 12 play. West Virginia has only lost twice. And I think both those are two like the good, really top-tier teams in the conference. They have 20 wins. They've beaten up on the lower-tier teams in the conference. So we'll see how that game goes Saturday afternoon, 2 o'clock on Big 12 Now on ESPN+. Texas, 8-3 in conference play, has done a great job dealing with overcoming the injury to point guard Roy Harmon from Houston area, one of the best point guards in the country, because their freshman sensation, Madison Booker, has performed as one of the top freshmen in the country. 6'1", 6'2" forward, playing point guard, causing matchup problems for opponents. She's cut down on turnovers. Longhorns are winning. They're 8-3. TCU's injured without their best players. I don't believe their best player, the big player, Sedona Prince, will be playing Saturday. That's the case. Another loss. That game, 4 o'clock. Big 12 Now, ESPN+. Oklahoma State at K-State. Also 4 o'clock, Big 12 Now, ESPN+. K-State coming off a loss. Hosting the Cowgirls, who are 4-7 in Big 12. K-State 9-2. Oklahoma. Oklahoma is 10-1 in Big 12 play. Road game in Ames at Iowa State. Then wrapping it up, UCF at Texas Tech. UCF, 2 wins. One of those 2 wins is over Houston. Texas Tech, 5-6. One of their wins is over Houston. But back to Oklahoma. Oklahoma, 10-1 in Big 12 play. Women's basketball. Their last game of non-conference this season, they lost at home to Southern. Southern of the SWAC. They've won 10 of 11 since then. Skylar Van for Oklahoma, she's been doing work. She's on that right borderline first team, second team, all conference for the Sooners for Big 12. And I'm keeping up with this because I'm a voter for the Player of the Week awards on women's side for Big 12 basketball. That's how I know some insight of what's going on in Big 12 women's hoops. Men's side, I haven't got about them. Let's take a look at the Cougars, or the Big 12 men's rankings in the net, the NCAA evaluation tool. Houston still at the top, even despite the loss at Kansas, still number 1 in the net, still a 1 seed in almost all the bracketology. Right now, number 1 seed in the Dallas region. Wouldn't that be something for the Cougs to got to get there, but be able to play in Dallas regional? BYU net is 8, and they're 4-5 in conference play. It's tough in the Big 12, man. Quality losses. Iowa State, 9. Kansas, 12. Baylor, 14. Oklahoma, 27. Cincinnati, 32. TCU, 36. Texas Tech, 37. Texas, 38. That's 10 teams, 10 Big 12 teams in the top 38 of the net. 10 out of the 14. 10. Needless to say, the bracketology has 9 or 10 Big 12 men's teams in the tournament. UCF at 65, K-State 76, Oklahoma State 133, and West Virginia at 142. But once again, 10 Big 12 men's teams in the top 38 in the net. 10. UH men basketball remaining schedule. Cougs 20-3 have reached 20 wins for the 9th straight season. 8 games remaining. 6 of them are Q1 games. 6 of them of the 8 this weekend at Cincinnati. Then they're off until next Saturday hosting the Longhorns. And then that's a Saturday. And then quick turnaround Monday home against Iowa State. And then at Baylor in Waco on the 24th. Then home versus Cincinnati. At Oklahoma. At UCF. And then Senior Day, March 9th, 3 o'clock against Kansas, ESPN. Looking forward to that. I truly doubt Kansas will shoot 68.9% from the floor in Houston like they did Saturday inside Allen Fieldhouse. We'll see. They took it to the Cougs on Saturday. But then K-State took it to KU in overtime on Monday. Life in the Big 12. Love it. Love covering it. Trying to get to the Big 12 tournament. Looking for sponsors and advertising to help pay for the trip to the Big 12 and the Final Four. So one more time, let's wrap it up here on this edition of the Houston Roundball Review TAKEOVER, powered by JM&E. Email me at kgardner@thehrr.com. Get your company logo shared on multiple platforms in front of thousands of people. Email me at kgardner@thehrr.com. Wrapping it up. Reminder to Rocket fans, tonight, 9 o'clock Central, the next edition of Let's Talk Houston Rockets, presented by Byron Riley, CPA. We're going to see. We got roughly an hour to see if the Rockets make a deal by the 2 p.m. Central trade deadline today. If so, we'll talk about it. If they don't, we'll talk about it. So join me tonight on Let's Talk Houston Rockets on the Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel. But you have been watching the Houston Roundball Review TAKEOVER, powered by JM&E, streaming live, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Musk, Fire TV, and of course on Roku via the Bs3 network. Never forget this. A couple of things. Buy you some Houston Roundball Review merch. Click on the shop button on the YouTube channel. Get you a mug, get you a shirt. I'm all decked out today. Got the Roundball Review shirt, different colors available. Mugs, tank tops, hoodies, long sleeve, short sleeve, etc. Support the Roundball Review. Spread the word about the show, the channel. Y'all know how to do it. Click on that like button. Tell your friends about the content here on this show and on the platforms at the Houston Roundball Review. Follow my man AD Moore at Next Corner. His show will be from Vegas, from the big game, recapping it. Might have a few shows prior to the big game, discussing Chiefs, Niners, all that part of the Houston Roundball Review Media Group. Since 1994, the Houston Roundball Review. Local name, global perspective. Y'all take care. Peace.